So tomorrow we're going to start not a brand new unit, but just a different version of what we have been studying. This is still systems of equations, but we are going to turn it over to the word problems where we have to write the equation and then solve it. So there are two main things that you're going to want to focus on looking for. The first thing is that you're going to want to read the problem and identify the variables. Find out what two things we're comparing, okay? Find out what two things we're comparing. I need to bring this closer. Maybe that, maybe, okay. And then after that, you want to find the totals. More than likely, you're gonna have on maybe 80% of the problems, you're gonna have two totals. Most of the time, you're gonna see the word total or the altogether, stuff like that. Now, your totals are gonna come in two different forms. It's either gonna be some type of amount or an item. An object. Now, if that total is an item or an object, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a minute, your coefficient will be 1. Ooh, that's way too thick, sorry. Let me bring it down to 2, see if that helps. Yeah, your coefficient will be 1. Now this foldable has 9 on it. I think we'll only do 5 of them, and then the other 4 we'll do them in class. Okay, so let's look at number 1. A travel agent offers 2 package vacation plans. The first plan cost $630. No, the first plan costs $360, sorry, and includes 3 days at a hotel and a rental car for 2 days. The second plan costs $500, includes 4 days at a hotel and a rental car for 3 days. Find the cost per day for the room in the car. So first thing I want to do is I want to find my variables, and I'm going to highlight those one color. And once I find my totals, I'm going to highlight those a different color. So the variables is what you're comparing. What two topics are we talking about? We're talking about a hotel and a rental car. Now, once you find those, you want to actually write those out to the side because you want to assign a variable. So I'm going to use H for hotel car for hotel, and I'm actually going to use R for rental car. I don't like using the variable C. So I'm very much like that, sorry. So we're going to use H for hotel, R for rental car. And I actually want to line both of these up. Okay. Now, from there, you want to find the totals. So it says the first plan cost a total of $360 and includes 3 days at the hotel and 2 days for the car. The second plan costs $500 total and includes 4 days at the hotel and 3 days for the rental car. Now, you're going to set up your equations the same way every time. So you're going to have some kind of variable. I'm going to put plus. I'm going to actually give it a little bit of space. Equals your, and this is how you're going to copy. Paste. Oh, Lord, it didn't let me paste. There it is. Okay. So those are my two equations right here. Let me line it up a little bit better. Yes, Ms. Ramirez has a little bit of OCD that goes on. So what do you usually find at the other side of the equal sign, at the other side of your equation? You find the total. So both totals are going to go at the end every time. And I'm probably going to make this smaller. It's a little bit big. There we go. That's much better. You're going to put your totals, and then your variables, you're going to insert those in the same order in front. Okay. So it won't let me. So I'm just going to have to write it in. I'm going to put my variables in HR, HR. H, R, H, R. So you start setting up your equations this way. Something plus something equals something. But now based on the way that you've learned how to create an equation over the years, you should know by now that your totals will go at the very end. So the first total I'm going to put is $360. And this is some type of amount. So I'm going to put a dollar sign here. And then $500, some type of cost, some type of amount. Now, when both of my totals when both of those totals are describing some type of money amount, then 9 out of 10 times you're going to have the numbers that you have to insert in your blanks. So for $360, I'm getting 3 days at the hotel, so 3H, and a rental car for 2 days. And then from there, for $500, I get 4 days at the hotel, 4H, and 3 days for the rental car, 3R. Okay. Now, if you look at this, you notice that both of your variables are on the same side. So this represents an equation that is in standard form. Because it's in standard form, I can find the solution by using matrix. So I'm going to hop over to matrix, or hop over to my calculator, second matrix, go to edit. Remember, it has to be 2 times 3, and then 3, 2, 360, and then 4, 3, 500. Oh, not 5,000. Oh, Lord. There we go. Good thing I caught that. Second quit, go back into matrix, find vref, and then second matrix, enter, enter. And these are the 2 numbers that you're going to be using. Now, the number at the very top that I got was 80 and then 60 at the bottom. Now, we talked about if we're going to use those last 2 numbers in matrix, they're in order. And typically what we have here is X and then Y in standard form. So H is going to represent your X. So this is the cost for the hotel. And R is in the same spot as Y. So this would represent my rental car. So you have now found the cost per day for the room and the car, $80, $60 per day. Okay, now I said I was going to do 5 of them. I'm going to skip number 2 and move on to number 3. So this would be the second one that we're going to do. It says a girl has 30 dimes and nickels in her pocket with a total value of $2.50. How many nickels and dimes does she have? Sometimes you're going to find those variables right there in the question, nickels and dimes. Most of the time you'll find it in the question. Find the cost per day for the room and car, hotel room, rental car. I could actually put hotel room instead of just hotel. So these are our 2 variables. I'm going to type those out here. I'm going to use N. I don't want to switch the color. Don't know why I did that. N for nickels and D for dimes. Okay. Now I'm going to use the same format. Control, let's see, copy, see if it'll do it. And then right here, oh Lord. Sorry guys. I don't know why it just shoves me over. Where's the, here it is, 30? Was it 30? Was it bold? Maybe. Maybe it's 36. Oh, too big, 24. Yeah, we'll just use 24. Let's go bold, 24. All right. Line it up. Now we know the totals go at the very end and the variables go on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in the variables because I'm having a little trouble right now trying to find those totals. I'm actually going to go back down to number 1. And I'm going to zoom in because I can. There we go. So nickels and dimes. So N, D, N. What in the world? Why can I not type? Or why can I not write? Hello? Why is it not letting me write over it? Is there something that's preventing me from doing that? Clear. Let's try again. Oh, it won't let me. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to. No. Okay. Let me try one more time. If it doesn't, I'll just write it out. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it's not gonna let me. Here we go. Plus something equals something. So I'm going to insert N and D right here. Now I do only find one total, and that one total is the value of $2.50. Right there, it does say total value of $2.50. Now that's going to be the only one that actually gives me some type of cost, $2.50. That means since I can only, oh, and then there's my other total, sorry, 30 dimes and nickels. The total for the amount of dimes and nickels put together. So I'm going to put the 30 here on the other side. Now 30 does not describe an amount, so this would be considered an item or an object. So I'm just going to put an I here. And like we said at the very top, if it's an item or an object, your coefficient will automatically be the number 1. So coefficient is the number in front of the variable. My coefficient, I'm going to go ahead and switch. I don't know why I'm writing that. It's the number 1 and number 1. Now I don't have an amount that I can put here for the nickels and dimes, but thankfully nickels and dimes have a cost, right? Hopefully you guys already know. I know that pocket change is rarely used these days, but a nickel is worth 5 cents. So 5 cents written out is not 0.5. 0.5 represents 50 cents, so it's 0.05. And a dime is 10 cents. It's worth more, so 0.10. And that's what I'm going to put in matrix. And then I'll show you a little trick. That way it makes matrix go a little bit faster. So 0.05, 0.1, 2.5, 2.50. It will change it back to 2.5. So that's okay. 1, 1, and 30. Second quit. Now, once you've done matrix once, you can go back and, oh man, it won't let me. Never mind. Matrix. I'm just going to do alpha B. There it is. Matrix, enter. And there's the rest of it. So we got a 10 and 20 at the bottom. So that represents that we have how many nickels and dimes? 10 nickels. And 20 dimes in total. Okay, number 4. The MPHS Tiger Dolls are hosting the spring show. They are offering reserved seats and general admission seats, and so far they've sold 1,750 tickets. The reserved seat tickets cost $10 and the general admission tickets cost $6. Altogether, the ticket sales have been 13,700. How many of each type of ticket was sold? So remember, you could always go to the question to give you a hint at what the variables are. So in this one, it's talking about how many of each type of ticket. So I'm looking for types of tickets to find my variables. So my variables are going to be reserved. I think I was highlighting variables in yellow. Reserved and general. Okay, so I'm going to use R for reserved and G for general. OCD, sorry. Here we go. R for reserve, G for general. So my equation There we go. So let's look for we found the variables. Now let's find the totals. It says, now notice it says the general admission tickets cost $6. That's not something that actually hints at it being the total. Altogether is a word that represents a total, and the total was 13,700. And so far they have sold 1,750 tickets. So there's my totals. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use 1,750. We're talking about tickets. Remember, your totals go at the very end. 1,750 tickets. So because it's a ticket, it's not an actual amount. There's no dollar amount. This is going to be our item, our object. And then the other total that we're given is 13,700. Now this is a dollar amount. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my variables RG. If it's an item or an object, remember we wrote that at the very top. For items and object, we want to put the number 1. And then for the second equation, if it's a dollar amount, then more than likely they're going to give you the cost of each. So for a reserved seat, the cost is $10. So I'm going to put 10 here. For a general admission, tickets cost $6. So I'm going to put 6 here. And I've created my equations. Let's go into matrix, edit, always 2 times 3. So I'm going to put 1, 1750, 10, 6, 13,700. Okay, nope. Yeah, 13,700, and it gave me that. Oh, I put too many. Sorry. 1, 3, 7, 1, 2. There you go. There it is. So second quit, which is the most missed step. Go over to math, be ref, enter. And then you get 800 and 950. Now top number 800 goes with the first variable. So the first variables are, so how many of each type of ticket? So we sold 800 reserved and 900 general. 900 general. Okay. All right, one more. Well, we're going to skip over to number 6, and then we'll do number 7, 8, or 9. I don't know which one. Okay, so there are 8 blocks in a box. The height of each block is either 3 or 5 inches. The height of the stack of 4 blocks is 28. Which system of equations can be used to determine X, the number of 3-inch blocks in the stack, and Y, the number of 5-inch blocks? Now, in this one, they are feeding you the variables. They want you to use X for the number of 3-inch blocks, and they want you to use Y for the number of 5-inch blocks. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. I'm going to use X for 3-inch blocks and Y for 5-inch blocks. Okay. I'm going to type out my equations. And we should be, so we found the variables, be looking for those totals. What are my totals? If you read, totals always go over here. So total. I'm going to highlight totals here. The height of the stack of the 4 blocks is means equals 28 inches. So that would be 1. And then it says that the height of the stack of 4 blocks. So that's 4 blocks in total. No, wait, there are 8 blocks in a box. I am going to count that out. Oh, should it be 8 or 4? That's a typo. I want to say it's 8. So we're just going to keep 8 for now. And then I'll fix it if I have to. So my total is 8 blocks and 28 inches. Now, neither one of this is an item, it's an object, it's a block. And then this one is in inches. It's not a dollar amount, but we are still going to be able to use it. So X and Y, X and Y. And if we're trying to figure out the number of blocks, then you know that this is my unknown. My item, my object is my unknown. So that is 1 and 1. Now inches, notice how your variables have inches already applied to them, 3 and 5. So I'm going to put 3 for X and 5 for Y. And we're going to put that into matrix. 1, 1, 8. Nope. And then 3, 5, 28. Second quit, back into matrix. I've been putting alpha B for those of you confused. And there it is, 6 and 2. So yeah, it was supposed to be 8. So that 4 should be an 8, 6 and 2. That means we have a total of 6. X is this variable, so a total of 6 3-inch blocks. And then 2 5-inch blocks. Okay. All right, one more. Now, these are going to be probably the hardest ones to write because you do have to use your turnaround phrases. Let's think back to our turnaround phrases. This is a topic that we covered in the very first 6 weeks. So our turnaround phrases are going to be, man, let me go back and find my notes. Actually, I have them written down. Never mind. Subtracted from. Now I know this little thing is in the way. Subtracted from. Now remember, from is that key word that we've been using. From and what else? Than, less. Oh my gosh. That was the classroom next to me. Less than, and also more. Sorry, than. I'm having to use all kinds of crazy keys. So these are our turnaround phrases. Remember, if it's a turnaround phrase, subtracted from, for example, you're going to have, say for example, 5 is subtracted from X. So 5 is said first minus X, and you're going to turn it around where it's going to end up being X minus 5. Why did I write the 5 again? So you're turning the phrase around, and instead of 5 minus X, X minus 5. Less than, less is also a subtraction. So if they say 5 less than X, it's said or it's written in this order, but you turn it around because of the word than and from. If you have the word more than, obviously that means to add. So if my test grade is 20 points more than Sally's or Jimmy's, whatever, I'm just going to use X more than. Because of that turnaround phrase, it's said as 20 more than Sally or 20 more than Xavier, I guess. I'm going to write it as X plus 20 because of that turnaround phrase. So let's look at this last one. A high school band held a bake sale. The number of cupcakes sold was 4 more than, there's that keyword. I'm going to highlight my keywords in blue, more than twice the number of cookies sold. The band sold a total, found a total. So I'm going to highlight that. Total of 52 cupcakes and cookies. How many cupcakes were sold? So you only, when you have a problem like this, you're only going to be given one total. So we're going to have, I'm going to use, what are my variables? I'm going to use C for cupcakes. I know I said I didn't like using that, and K for cookies. And we are going to type out these equations. Let's see if it works. Oh, yay, nice, perfect. There it is. I'm going to move back over. Now we have our cupcakes and cookies. We know we're talking about cupcakes. How many cupcakes? It's in the question. and cookies right here. All right. So we only have one total. That totals go at the end, goes at the very end, 52. Now I don't know how many of each. C, K, C, K. I don't know how many of each, so I'm going to put a 1 and 1. Now, this second sentence, I'm actually going to try to highlight in green. This second sentence right here is something that we're actually going to have to translate. And when I translate these sentences, I like to write the things right above it. The number of cupcakes. Cupcakes is C, sold means equals. 4, I'm going to write the number 4, more than is plus twice, 2 times something, the number of cookies. So C. Let's write that out. C equals 4 more than twice the number of cookies. But because of this keyword, because of this turnaround phrase, this is actually supposed to be written the other way because of the word than. Okay, so I'm going to write C equals 2C, or 2, my bad, cookies is K. I don't like that you guys are not present to call me out on that. Cookies is K, so this is K. So 2K plus 4. Now, because of standard form, I have to move both variables to the same side. So I'm going to subtract 2K, and you will have 2 more examples of this. So if you don't fully understand, at least remember, that was the bell, at least remember or try to go back over your turnaround phrases. What do you do with those turnaround phrases? This cancels out. I'm going to bring down that 4. And notice how I have a -2 now. There's a 1 here in front of the C. It's not positive, it's a -4 and a positive, not -4, a -2. Sorry, I'm now in a rush because of the bell. So 1, -2, and 4. Now let's go ahead and type that into matrix, second matrix. 1, 1, and 52. And then 1, -2, 4. Copy, second matrix, and you might have some people coming in screaming because they have no respect. And so the numbers that were given from matrix is 36 and 16. 36, 16. These numbers are given to you in the order that your variables have been placed in. So C for cupcakes and K for cookies. Okay, we will do the other 4 examples in class. So if you have any other questions, please let us know. Have a great day.